Monday afternoon to you and to everyone watching at home.
To you too. A little rainy out there. The temperatures have turned. Matt will be along with a forecast in a few minutes, and it doesn't look like the snow is done yet.
I usually don't look back, but I miss yesterday. That's all I'll say about the weather. Yeah. Well, we begin at 5 with a question. Just how high can they go? We're talking about gas prices, which according to Gas Buddy, as of today, have now reached an all-time high here in the United States. The average cost of a gallon of gasoline here in the U.S. for regular unleaded, $4.10.4 a gallon. That eclipses the former high, which was set back in 2008. And with the Russian invasion of Ukraine now driving daily spike hikes, we don't know where this is going to stop. Mark Namick is here with what's ahead for consumers and the potential impact on services. Hi, Mark.
Hey, good afternoon, Jay. Yeah, even before Russia invaded Ukraine, pump prices were skyrocketing because we were shaking off 2 years of a pandemic economy, and that really drove demand. And as you just said, the war now driving daily prices. And that average is fluctuating, that national average record. We're, as you said, close to $4.10 a gallon, and that is up. In Ohio, we may hit our own records here with right now about $3.80 as being our average. But that's going to go higher, and AAA says a lot is coming.
The gasoline prices are 50 cents more expensive than last Monday, than 1 week ago. 50 cents. That's a substantial lift. And the main driver behind these gas price increases has been crude oil prices. So for Ohio drivers, it is within the realm of possibility that you will see potentially record-setting gas prices in the coming days and weeks, because all the trends are pointing towards and all the conditions are set for more expensive gasoline.
The timing couldn't be worse for Americans who are ready to travel this spring and summer. There's not a lot we can do there. But those getting hit the hardest are hourly workers. They right now have seen very little increase in pay, about 5%, while inflation has been driving about 7.5% increases. So they're really at a loss, and we're going to see the changes coming to services like cities and buses, because they rely heavily on gas to deliver those to us, whether you're in a suburb or in the city. Jay?
Well, and Betsy, too. And the real dinger here for me is the number 2008. That, of course, just the beginning of that great recession that changed so many people's financial futures. Mark, is there any end in sight to this surge?
You know, I hate being the bearer of bad news, but the ripple effect of what's going on in geopolitics in the war, specifically in the Ukraine, is just beginning. And you have to keep in mind, Betsy, that, you know, oil companies took a big loss at the beginning of that pandemic when demand was way down, and they haven't shown a willingness to lower prices or even increase output when we're talking about those nations that produce it. All of that comes together to create what's really going to be more pain at the pump. Betsy?
Unfortunate for sure. All right, Mark, thanks so much.
Well, as we said, the war in Ukraine is the driving force behind those rising gas prices. Russia has again stepped up its shelling in cities across that country, pushing its troops further inside Ukraine. Today, Russian and Ukrainian diplomatic teams made a third attempt at a ceasefire, this to allow civilians from several cities to evacuate safely, as well as opening humanitarian corridors. And as those attacks intensify, so too does the rush to escape for millions of Ukrainians. NBC's Jay Gray is on the ground in neighboring Poland with that story. Jay?
Good evening. Let's update you first on what's happening along the front lines. U.S. military intelligence now says close to 100% of the Russian troops who had gathered along the border of Ukraine are now in country and engaged in the fight. And with that escalated violence, that means more people are leaving Ukraine. For many hundreds of thousands, this is their first stop. We're at Przemyśl train station. So they come in by train, some by bus, and gather here trying to then get on another train, perhaps a bus, move further into Poland or even further into Europe. Today, it's been busier than we've seen during our whole time on the ground here. Very concerning for officials at this border stop and others, fearful that we're going to see these crowds grow tremendously over the next several days and several weeks. We know at this point 1.7 million people have left to Ukraine. We know that about 1 million of them have come to Poland. That's the very latest right now along the Poland-Ukraine border. I'm Jay Gray. Back to you.
Just trying to live their lives like we all are, certainly. Well, we continue to see the startling images that are coming out of Ukraine after Russia's invasion. And nobody here in Northeast Ohio is more heartbroken than those who have direct connections to the war zone. Emma Henderson met with a pastor today who lived in Ukraine and is in constant contact with his former Ukrainian neighbors. Emma?
Betsy, Reverend Harlan Reif and his wife spent 27 months in Ukraine. Their first 3 were in a city where homes have been destroyed in the bombings. The other hasn't been damaged, but it's right where they can watch the endless stream of Russian tanks coming into the country. Reif and his wife were working as English teachers through the Peace Corps in Krolevets. It's a city in the northern part of Ukraine set several kilometers off the Kyiv-Moscow car and train routes. He says friends in the city of about 20,000 have been working together to try and help loved ones who are in other parts of the country.
They have a lot of concern for friends and family. It's a commuter town. A lot of folks live and work in Sumy, the oblast capital, or in Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine. And so there's been a tremendous effort to help those people get back.
Reif has been staying in close contact with his friends over the past decade, but even more so over the past 2 weeks, where he says everyone is rationing resources. And while the city he's most familiar with hasn't been attacked, Reif says they still have to come together to get by. The local dairy is providing free milk and the local bakery free bread. The biggest thing they're running low on right now is medical supplies. Betsy?
So much pain over there, certainly right now. Emma, thank you.
Well, now on your feet at 5, today the Cleveland International Film Festival announced it will not screen any films that were produced by Russian-based companies or funded by the Russian Federation this year. The group also revealed its lineup for the upcoming festival. It's set to take place at Playhouse Square March 30th through April 9th. This year, the festival is back to in-person. It will showcase 146 feature films and an additional 182 short films. 73 countries will be featured. Tickets go on sale to members this Friday, then on the 18th to the general public. I know we sort of mark our calendar by events that happen at the same time every year, and this is certainly one of them. Mm-hmm. And with our pandemic numbers and our COVID numbers down so drastically, this is one of many of those events that will be in person again this year. I think that's a welcome return for so many of us.
It is, and movies and anything on a screen really was a lot of people's connection to the outside world over the last 2 years. So now it's kind of new territory to get back in front of people and then also have some new material to talk about.
Yeah, well, and when you talk about new material, I imagine that there will be a large number of documentaries that will focus specifically on how we handled the pandemic, not just here in the U.S., but in other countries as well. So should be a lot of interesting films at this year's festival.
Well, we have an update to give everybody on a story that we told all of you about on Friday. The Brecksville-Broadview Heights high school gymnastics team won their 19th straight state championship title. Congrats to Coach Maria Schneider and her bees. Their winning streak started back in 2004. Now, listen to this. Some of the girls on this year's team weren't even born when the winning streak started.
How about that?
So what a huge, lineup they have had over the years, and certainly
that's dominance.
Congrats.
That is dominance for sure. And a program like that really sort of builds on its success because what happens is for the young girls that live in that community, they see and they watch the older girls' success at the high school level, and they're tugging on mom and dad's coats saying, I want to be in gymnastics. So that floods the number of kids that are participating in gymnastics, and they all have a very common and reachable goal. I one day want to stand on that podium at the top rung. Pretty cool.
That's probably the place to go to get your best shot.
Yeah, it really is. Also, I saw over the weekend, we had talked about the story about the Beechwood track team where the coach had failed to meet the deadline for entering his kids into the competition.
The paperwork wasn't filed,
The courts intervened and said you can't punish the kids for that.
Wow.
And they allowed those athletes to participate, which we kind of felt like was really the fair thing to do. You can't punish the kids for the mistake of a coach who felt terrible about it, but all's well that ends well.
Wow, I bet his documents are on time next year.
Yeah, he'll definitely make next year's deadline for sure. All right, up next on What's New, gas prices are, as we said, at an all-time high, and the cost of all things travel-related, well, they're skyrocketing as well. We're going to have tips on how you might be able to save money on that next big trip. That's in this week's Money Monday report.
And the long court battle involving comedian Bill Cosby has finally reached a final verdict. We'll have all the details ahead in Pop Break.
And we say our first hello of the week to Matt Wintz. And wow, Matt, what a difference one spring day in Northeast Ohio can make.
Yeah, it sure does. If you don't like the weather 1 minute, just, yeah, they say that everywhere pretty much. But yeah, we're much colder outside today after a pair of 70-plus degree days across Northeast Ohio. Tonight, we've got 30s. And yeah, we're going to see some snowflakes returning to our forecast. Not a big deal tonight, but just enough to remind you it's still winter around here. We do have a little warm up this week and another potential winter storm somewhere in the eastern half of the country. We'll nail down the timing and what that may look like coming up.
Oh, it's Money Monday here on What's New, and gas prices are not the only thing soaring.
No, not at all. After nearly 2 years of all of us being cooped up and really not taking many trips, well, we're all ready to go now. And unfortunately, you know the deal. So is everyone else. Supply, demand, we're all going to pay for it, pay dearly. Hotels, rental cars, airfare, they're all skyrocketing. In fact, plane tickets are expected to climb, Betsy, get this, 7% per month for the next 4 months.
Oh.
That means in 4 months from now, we'll be paying 28% more for all of our air tickets than we are right now. Of course, this is all being pushed by the war in Ukraine. We don't know what's going to happen there, so that uncertainty continues to make prices of everything go sky high, and most importantly, oil prices. There are still deals, though, that you can snag. That's because a lot of people had booked travel to Europe,
right?
And then the war broke out, and many of them have fear of traveling overseas. So a lot of those trips were canceled. So you might be able to piggyback on some of those cancellations. The key is to book early and to prepare for crowds. Just be ready for them because they're going to be there and they're going to be unusual in size.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends that are, always kind of keeping an eye on what's going on with, oh, I want to go here and I want to go there, and now may be the best time to try and really comparison shop. shop.
Yeah, like I said, whenever there were cancellations, they want to fill those as quickly as they can. But I think that's in the short term. Like if you start planning out for June, July, August, which so many folks do with the summers and the family vacations, the prices are really outrageous. We've looked at a couple of different travel places and much higher than they were even pre-pandemic. So where this ends, who knows? But man, inflation is really starting to take a bite out of just about everything we do on a day-to-day basis.
Maybe this is good news for the Hall of Fames, the Rock Hall, the Football Hall of Fame, Cedar Point, all those as folks just decide to do the staycation, shorter drive, not a real long drive. Could be a good way to do it. All right, next up on our list, it's tax season. If you've filed already, there's a chance that your refund has already hit your bank account. USA Today spoke with a financial expert who shared the 3 smartest ways to use your return. First, pay down those high interest debts. This is something like credit card debt. Next, save some of it because you just don't know when unexpected expenses will be popping up. And experts say it's good to have enough money that will cover 3 to 6 months of essential expenses. And last but not least, do something to treat yourself. The experts say some, not all of it, towards something that will lift your spirits. Doesn't have to be something big. It could be something small, maybe a special dinner out or, something, that the family can enjoy together.
Got to treat yourself. I mean, we talk about the raising prices of everything, and I talk to so many people that are just saying, I'm trying to find ways where I can cut corners. So we're eliminating the annual summer vacation, or we're not going to do this year's planned home improvement, anything they can to sort of save a bundle. I don't know. The big tax refunds that I feel like they're not as big as they used to be either, because the tax laws have changed and so many families opted to get those child credits within the year. So I think there's going to be a lot of surprises on the bad side.
That changes things.
When folks say, wait a minute, I used to get, and they're going to say, well, yeah, but you opted to get those throughout the year. So that end of the year tax, that's gone.
Ooh.
I know, it's going to hurt a lot of folks. It really is.
Well, one thing that's free is the forecast, the ability to get outside and do some entertainment in the fresh air. Yesterday was a great day to do just that. Folks were out and about, really enjoying it.
Yeah, it was nice. We let the kids outside, let them run loose at area parks, and it was fantastic. I apologize to all the park owners and rangers there, but it was so great. And so many people were out, and everyone had a smile on their face. And now we're back to today, but that's okay.
Yeah, reality struck again today. We always have that first real warm day, and then it's coming again. But it was a nice tease. We know that it's not too far away. Matt, your weather word today off that tax story is refund.
Okay.
Some folks want a refund on today's weather, too.
They sure do, Jay. And I was going to call out the shot behind it, but don't worry about it. It's not really that great. We have lots of clouds moving in. Bad news all around, right, in terms of everything's more expensive, all that. So let's find some good news in the forecast. Goodbye early sunsets. Tonight's sunset at 6:24. The next time it's this early in the evening, not until October 30th. How about that? So we've got some time with these later sunsets, and that time change is coming up this weekend. We've been eyeing it. You look as we go through time here, 6:24. By next Monday, we're talking a 7:30 sunset. Then we get into April where we're approaching 8 o'clock. So certainly brighter days ahead, longer evenings to spend outdoors. We just need the weather to cooperate, right? And it certainly hasn't. We were in the 70s about 24 hours ago. Notice the quick fall with that wind shift yesterday evening that we were calling for. We've stayed, pretty much in the 30s to near 40 degrees. A little spike here with this frontal boundary that came through today, but we're back into the 30s here tonight. Had a potent line of showers, some gusty showers with this as this line moved through earlier. That was the cold front. Then our wind turned off the lake. It poured fog off the lake as well as that colder air met up with some of our moisture that we had, some of the humidity around. But right now we're pretty quiet on the radar. Off towards the north, though, you can see as this system pulls away, we are dealing with some snow showers, mainly of the lake effect variety. Not expecting a lot of snow, but we will see some flakes in the air later on this evening and tonight. The big story, the cold air. There's a plethora of it heading all the way down towards the Gulf Coast again. That warm air now squeezed over into the Carolinas. So some numbers on it. You notice how it's much colder. We're kind of in between right now, 36 in Cleveland. The warm air now down towards the southeastern half of the country. Locally, that puts us in the 30s. We'll head back into the 20s tonight. So chilly at that morning commute tomorrow morning, but overall we should be fairly dry. We will have some flurries mixed in as we go hour by hour, but you notice Not a whole lot going on weather-wise tonight outside of just some of those passing snow showers. National Design Mart hour-by-hour forecast. Well, if you want to use your refund for something, a space heater might be the best thing to use it for tonight, as we're generally going to be in the 20s tomorrow morning. We'll start with some clouds tomorrow, perhaps some lingering flurries. We'll bring back sunshine, so at least we'll have that tomorrow afternoon. And then Wednesday gets interesting. Little system zips by here. Weekend gets more interesting, as we could be dealing with a pretty decent storm system somewhere eastern half of the country. Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast. That comes with a temperature fall and some snow Friday night and a Saturday. We'll detail that. That could be impactful, but depending on the track. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. It's Monday, and then we bounce out of it next week. We'll talk more about that next weather update.
I'd like a refund too, Matt.
Yeah.
Especially on that one. Yikes. All right, thanks so much. We'll see you in just a little bit. Ahead on What's New, former boy bander Nick Lachey has a new reality dating show that's ready to drop soon. Kara has the details ahead next in Pop Break.
And a golden retriever, a slice of lemon, and an absolutely priceless reaction. It's our Monday worth the watch. It's pretty cool, too. It's coming up.
Hey Matt, did you look at today's stories? Got an array for you. We are talking reality TV shows on Netflix called Ultimatum. Bill Cosby. You know Bill Cosby, come on. Come on. And then, I don't even know what the last one is myself. Oh, Will Smith and Michael B. Jordan for I Am Legend 2. We'll see. Okay.
Welcome back to What's New. If you are a fan of the reality dating genre on TV, we have some news of a new show that might be just right for you.
Well, Kiara Cotton is here now with that and other entertainment headlines in our Monday Pop Break. Hey there, Key.
Hi, Jay and Betsy. You're right. We have a lot to talk about today. But first, we got an update on Bill Cosby and his case with the Supreme Court. This morning, the court ruled not to review the decision that freed the 84-year-old comedian and actor from prison last year. In 2018, Cosby was convicted of aggravated indecent assault for drugging and sexually assaulting a woman at his Pennsylvania home in 2004. As a result, he was sentenced to 3 to 10 years in state prison. After serving nearly 3 years, the conviction was tossed out after his legal team argued that his due process rights had been violated. Since his release, Cosby has maintained his innocence. And marry or move on. That's the concept for the latest dating show from Netflix, Ultimatum. The 10-episode series follows 6 established couples on the cusp of getting married. The only problem is that one partner is ready while the other is on the fence. So the ultimatum is made, but in the meantime, new potential partners are chosen to give the couples a glimpse at what an alternative future could look like. From the makers of Love is Blind, the drama is hosted by Nick and Vanessa Lachey. Ultimatum, Marry or Move On will hit the streaming platform April 6th. And two of Hollywood's biggest actors are teaming up for a new project. Will Smith has enlisted the help of Michael B. Jordan for the sequel to the 2007 film I Am Legend. Deadline was the first to report the news, and shortly after, Will Smith seemed to confirm with the post of a deserted post-apocalyptic New York City that he tagged Michael B. Jordan in. The sequel will mark the first time the duo has joined forces as stars and producers. Now, this pairing couldn't come at a better time for both of them. Jay and Betsy, I've got to tell you, you guys know I'm not shy about my Michael B. Jordan obsession, so when this comes out, I will be in theaters to see it.
She'll be first in line, I bet.
Yeah, with popcorn and
Pre-sale
punch.
Key, Betsy and I had the identical reaction when you were talking about the Ultimatum show.
Yeah.
Like, we're listening, and all of a sudden, things got real spicy when you said they were going to add other possible mates to the mix to see how that raises the price of marital poker. Wow.
I don't know how they're going to fit all of that in 10 episodes, but I'll be tuned in to find out.
There's going to be some drama.
And something tells me season 2 will probably be ordered very shortly after season 1 drops. Oh, the drama. That's going to get spicy. Okay, Key, thanks.
Sure thing.
Well, for today's Worth the Watch, a golden, a slice of lemon, and, well, a fantastic reaction. Now, the dog sees that it's food, and it's set in front of it, and usually that means it's devoured in seconds. But this dog is just investigating what in the world this strong smell is. Not sure about it, kind of gives up on it a couple of times.
Aw.
Like, just says, you know what, no, I'm not interested. Pats at it a little bit. But Bets, the longer it goes on, the longer he's intrigued by the scent. And I love that noise right there. This is not right. Things that are set in front of me are supposed to smell great and taste even better. And finally, he just flips backwards and says, no, I'm out. I can't do this. There's no way I'm going to, well, it is food.
But I want it.
And it is in front of me. Maybe if I try it a third time, maybe it will smell and taste better. So he goes back, he gives us a little bit of a lick there, and that's it. That's a wrap. That dog does not hunt.
Poor thing.
I love that. It made me
do that
smile
with babies,
so much.
too, and watch their faces.
Oh, that's always priceless.
Just a little bit.
All right, coming up in the second half hour of What's New, the price of a barrel of oil shot up today about 25%, leading to huge losses on Wall Street. And as of today, an all-time high for the price of gasoline here in the United States. We're going to talk about that.
And the Players Union has made its first proposal to the owners of Major League Baseball since talks stalled last week. We'll have the very latest on the state of our Major League Baseball season.
And folks in the rain will soon have a new fast food option to choose from. We're going to tell you all about this fan favorite. Folks love this place. They just can't get enough of it, and they're going to soon have some of it in Lorraine. What's News coming right back. Stay with us.
What could it be?
I think it's Chick-fil-A based on
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
And we begin the second half hour of What's New with three things you need to know at this hour. First, Russian troops are advancing further into Ukraine, surrounding some key cities now. Multiple efforts to create humanitarian corridors to get Ukrainians safely out of the areas that are being heavily bombed have failed yet again due to Russia's continued attacks. Tonight, the White House says it will not send American troops to fight in Ukraine or create a no-fly zone because of the risk of escalating the conflict with Russia. However, the U.S. and Europe are now said to be closer to banning Russian oil imports.
The Lake County Humane Society is dealing with an increase in reported animal cruelty and neglect cases. 2021 was a record year. They received 403 reports, which is a 24% increase from the year before. It's a trend that's likely to continue this year, too. That organization says COVID-19 is a contributing factor in many of the cases that surround neglected animals, since so many owners have lost jobs or are struggling with other expenses. The Humane Society hired a second officer to help deal with the additional cases. Our Brandon Simmons will have more on this coming up on 3 News at 6.
And it was a big day for the Cleveland Police Academy. The 148th and 149th classes officially reached the next step in their careers. Mayor Justin Bibb administered the oath of office to both classes earlier this morning. It took place inside Public Hall. We say a huge congratulations to all of the cadets who are now officially Cleveland police officers.
And stay safe out there, too.
Absolutely.
Well, with that, we welcome you back to What's New. I'm Betsy Kling alongside Jay Crawford.
Can I ask you to put your glasses on, please? I passed Betsy today in the newsroom, and I immediately just stopped in my tracks, and I'm like, wow, are those for air? And she said, no. But those are pretty fancy,
They're
Bets.
for my phone.
So
I don't want to do like the teacher, like.
No. Well,
you know.
It's not a bad look. I think it's fine.
Yeah. I don't know.
Nice.
My contacts are just not loving me today.
Yeah. So
they're a little weird.
So you take them off.
I'm trying to juggle a few different things.
All right. Very good. I just wanted our viewers to enjoy that. I enjoyed it earlier in the newsroom.
You're biased. You have to enjoy it.
No, I don't have to. If I didn't, I would probably tell you, Bets, I wouldn't try that on air. That's just the way I am, because I know you would tell me the same.
I wouldn't be so nice about it, though.
No, I know you wouldn't. All right, let's get to our countdown to spring. I love this, because now we're inside 2 weeks. This is when it gets real to me. This is when it gets real.
This is also when we really start pounding in on the snow forecast.
Thanks, Bets. 13 days and counting now. This picture was sent to us by one of our viewers, Debbie Larson. We love all of our viewers.
Yeah.
She's in Magnolia, Ohio.
Oh, yeah.
That's a beautiful picture.
Yeah.
I thought you would enjoy it. So inside of 2 weeks now, it's the 2-week countdown is when it gets real.
It's a little clematis vine or clematis.
Clematis
depending upon which part of Ohio you're from.
Okay.
Or mispronunciations. Okay, now to our top talker. It's, of course, the skyrocketing gas prices that we are contending with. The national average topped $4 a gallon this weekend for the first time since 2008. The average is 46 cents more than just a week ago, and the surge is mostly a result of Russia's invasion on Ukraine. In fact, prices have jumped every single day since the war started. Even though the U.S. doesn't rely on Russian oil as much as other countries do, expected sanctions here and abroad will make a tight global crude oil market even tighter.
The oil market reacts much like the stock market, and unfortunately, drivers are paying for that at the gas pump.
Well, with inflation spiking 7.5%, hourly wages are only growing 5.1%. So that means that tight budgets are now even tighter. I think we are just beginning to see the pain again. This is so important, for so many people in their budgeting for their families.
Sure.
And, you have food, you got to be able to get to work, get from work, get the kids to school, get everything done. And oftentimes you just kind of slot in that line for gas and it's just not even a thought. And now it's like, wait a second, we got to move some things around just to get a fill up.
Well, the cost of a gallon of gas has more than doubled in the last year. That's alarming whenever you've got that kind of an increase. And don't look at your 401ks because it's likely a 301k right now. Wall Street was hammered today. The NASDAQ index was down over 3%. The other two indices down healthy 2 heavy percentage points and more so. So, this is the biggest single day loss since 2020. When you'll remember when the pandemic first hit, the stock market suffered massive losses on successive days. This was the biggest loss since that time, and one of the all-time biggest losses in history. So we've got to keep watching that. Ukraine and Russia driving a lot of this. Hopefully we can put some peace in our lives and put this whole thing behind us soon, because it's going to affect all Americans by the time we're done.
It will. So we have to try and pinch pennies on our gas.
Yes. We put up a poll on our 3 What's New Facebook page to see how you're saving money because of all the price surge of gasoline. Steph, what are people doing to try to pinch corners here?
Well, you know, Jay, Betsy, obviously this is impacting a lot of people. That's what we're seeing on the What's New Facebook page. And so let's take a look at some of the results in our Facebook group. It looks like most people are just going to try and ride this out at home if they can. That's where the majority of our responses are coming, and they're just going to try not to drive anywhere. Other people are going to combine trips. That's coming in second place. Now let's take a look at some of the write-in responses, though, for other ideas that people have to save money. Public transportation is a popular option for people to try and save money at the gas pump. You know, things like the Greater Cleveland RTA, they offer single trips, daily, weekly, and monthly passes at varying rates, and many of those have big discounts for senior citizens, so keep that in mind. Now, Sue Clark has been prepared for something like this. She's a planner. She brought a hybrid car a few years ago for this kind of situation. And her tip for the rest of us is drive the speed limit to get more mileage out of your fill-up. That's something I could probably pay close attention to myself.
I'm with you.
No, you're not, Beth.
Now, a few people there are also saying that they plan to take advantage of rewards programs. So no random fill-ups for those people. They'll be staying loyal to certain spots so they can get those discounts in. Others won't be staying home, but they will stay close to home. And people like Carolyn say that she'll be walking more, which is a nice luxury if you do live in a walkable area. Now, if you don't have access to those things, here's what I'm wondering. When rideshare options will come back for those true rideshares like Uber Pool, Jay and Betsy, I looked on the app today. Not there again yet, but maybe soon, so people can carpool and kind of split that cost.
I think a lot of people forget about public transportation, or they're intimidated by public transportation. And remember, when you take public transportation, you not only save on gas, but then you don't have to pay for parking either.
Yeah, no, there's double savings there. So here's how I know this is all coming full circle and hitting home for Betsy. Oh. Wait, I can't drive as fast? What? So now all of a sudden this whole thing got real for Bets. Yeah, you save, obviously, you save fuel.
I know.
When you drive slower.
But if you just get there faster, that's not less gas? I don't know, Jay. We need to crunch these numbers.
No, it's not. You're gonna
I figure I have more momentum so I can coast longer.
Is that it?
So when I coast, I'll save the gas.
On our security cameras each day, there's always a whirl that goes by, and the security guards look at each other and they say, "Did you catch that? What was that?" I don't know.
Getting air going down into the
like some sort
parking
of
garage.
No, Betsy's here. Okay, Steph, thanks. All right, let's talk sports now. Still no movement from the Major League Baseball talks between the players' union and the owners. Both sides got back to the bargaining table yesterday, but boy, the day did not go well. In fact, the league is reacting with anger to the latest offer by the players. The owners are accusing the union of actually backtracking. They're saying their most recent offer was worse than their previous offer. So there's still no end in sight here as to when this thing is going to end, when we're going to have Major League Baseball back. We already know the first 6 games of the season are canceled. You can expect that as each week goes by without an agreement, that another week is going to be canceled, not postponed, canceled. So if this lasts into the middle of this week, I would expect that that man right there, Rob Manfred, the commissioner of Major League Baseball, would come to the podium again and announce that we're going to cancel another week. He really angered a lot of fans when he made that announcement last week. During the course of that, he's not really reading the room well. And he laughed at one of his own remarks. And for fans that are going to miss baseball, there's nothing funny about this.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the people who are all for a shorter season, a shorter regular season for baseball, are like, okay, here we go. This is our chance to prove our point.
Yeah, well, you can settle in 146 games, the same thing you can in 162. Yeah. So it looks like that's probably where we're going, and who knows, perhaps even fewer.
All right, well, ahead on What's New. Our Mentor Monday program doubles in size. We'll have an exciting update for you on the power of mentorship.
Plus, which of this year's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominees are leading the fan vote for induction. Stephanie's going to be back. She'll update us on that ahead in Clicking in Cleveland. But first, Matt's back, and he's got our weather in a jiffy. Hi again, Matt.
Yeah, hey guys. Betsy flew into the parking lot today. I was behind her, so I didn't quite get there. But with all this rain recently, I got a great space out front. Let's take a live look at our security cam. There it is. There's my car parked in all the sogginess we've had. My backyard looks the same way. It's just a big water hole. Kids will have fun in it. When do we dry out and when do we warm up again? We've got your forecast next.
Your window.
Alrighty, here we are. It's Monday. We have so much ahead of us this week. And then you throw in this whole complicated weather forecast on top of all of that. There is a lot to pay attention to.
Yeah, the ups and downs of March. My goodness. I mean, 71 the last 2 days. We're back into the 20s tonight. I mean, you don't get these temperature swings a lot of months of the year, but March is definitely one of them. And the other thing, Betsy, is that, we get these storm systems. Some of them can be rather potent because we mix in Gulf of Mexico moisture with this cold air. And that's what we're looking at later this week. So we'll give you the heads up on that. We'll talk near term first. We're in the 30s, much, much colder outside. The last to cool down towards the south. Carrollton, Dover hanging on to the 40s. Boy, it was nice today. Got up into the 50s down there. You notice the wind is gusty at times. These are your sustained numbers out of the northwest. We've had gusts still over 30, helping to get this cold air back in here. Wind chill values generally in the 20s, so you'll need to bundle up as you're heading out. Cold air's back. We had a pretty stout frontal boundary that moved through earlier today, produced a line of some heavier rain, gusty winds. We've kind of cleared out. We still have the low clouds around, but in terms of the precip, not much going on right now. You notice a little bit of snow off towards the north, trying to curl in here. The bulk of the system snows out of here, though, so we're going to turn to some lake effect flurries and snow showers tonight. Shouldn't be too big of a deal. The big story is the cold air heading all the way down towards the Gulf Coast. Here's that warmth just kind of waving goodbye down towards the Carolinas right now. It'll be back, though. We bounce back quickly this time of year. Scattered snows tonight, otherwise just cloudy. We're in the 30s, upper 20s for some. Tomorrow morning, your National Design Mart hour-by-hour forecast paint a little bit more snow than what's actually occurring, so I think it is a little bit overdone. Notice how tomorrow, though, we'll start with some lake effect clouds, but we'll clear things out. Should see some nice sunshine as we get into the afternoon hours. It will help to bump our temperatures, hopefully up near 40. Models keeping us in the 30s, but either way, it's going to be a little bit warmer than today. Clouds build back on Wednesday. Weak system slides through down to our south. This could clip us. If the track of this system's a little bit further north and west, we could have some rain and snow around here on Wednesday, so we'll keep tuned to that. Right now, we're going to keep us mainly dry. It's our southeast counties we'll have to watch out for, and then that one's out of here. We're back to sunshine by Wednesday afternoon. The bigger picture, though, we turn active later on this week. You can see here's that system Wednesday that could clip Ohio. We'll keep our eye on that again. Wouldn't be too impactful, but later on this week, there's going to be some really cold air diving south into the country. That will spin up a little area of low pressure in the plains. Combine that with an area of energy that'll be coming out of the desert southwest, and we'll likely have a strip of snow off towards our west Friday. As that cold air works in here, it gathers Gulf of Mexico moisture, and watch what happens Friday night and Saturday. Pretty decent storm system. This would be a good snowstorm for somewhat along the East Coast. Track comes west. Keep in mind that will change our forecast, but we are definitely going to see some kind of storm system with cold air following back and behind it. The Euro right now paints that snow heaviest just east of us, but the GFS and the Canadian models, they're a little bit further west. So again, it's going to take some time. Just put a little earworm right now to keep Friday and Saturday in mind. Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast that comes with a temp drop on Friday. We spring forward on Saturday night. That makes it no different weather-wise on Sunday. We'll be sending it back to you, Jay.
All right, great. We spring forward, and then we have a low of 19 the next day. Great. Thanks, spring. All right, for the fourth year in a row, 3 News is celebrating some of the most selfless Northeast Ohioans. As part of our Education Station campaign, we're celebrating mentors with Mentor Mondays. Say yes to education, paid college tuition, get this, for virtually every CMSD high school graduate since 2019. That's incredible. And now the program is celebrating its first class of Say Yes college graduates with their mentors by their side the entire way. Here's January Keaton.
Former CSU psychology major, now clinical psychology master's student, Leanne Andino is the very first Say Yes Cleveland scholarship recipient to graduate from college.
I didn't have to worry about getting a second job. I didn't have to worry about my parents working to help me pay for school. So I was able to really just focus on studying, getting good grades, and finishing as soon as I can.
The Say Yes Cleveland initiative was launched in 2019 and provides eligible Cleveland students with scholarships, a volunteer mentor, and other important resources for college success.
The person who I got paired up was incredible.
Baldwin Wallace graduate Michaela Spoljaric, also in the inaugural class of Say Yes college grads, credits her mentor, Sydney, for not only mentorship, but a lasting friendship.
Whether it's personal or professional or just like general college questions and things that are going on.
There's no question under the sun that is too crazy to ask a mentor.
I mean, we still talk now.
These Say Yes grads and those to follow, given a better chance at succeeding in college and beyond.
We are extremely proud of them. We couldn't be more thrilled.
Through the power of having people in their corner.
As you're seeing from the success of these graduates, you're really seeing the fruits of the labor of mentors.
Absolutely. Well, College Now of Greater Cleveland, which provides the mentors for Say Yes, is looking for a new class of mentors to be paired with this year's graduates. 100 plus volunteers signed on last year during the week we aired Mentor Monday. So let's do even better this year, y'all. If you'd like to become a mentor, just visit collegenowgc.org. That's collegenowgc.org to sign up. The deadline's April 1st. We'll also have more information on our website, and you know it's wkyc.com/Mentor Monday.
Mentor a young person, change their life forever.
Absolutely.
January, thank you very much.
Next on What's New, which of the list of nominees for this year's Rock Hall induction class is your favorite? We'll tell you what the fans are saying on that next in Clicking in Cleveland.
And everyone's favorite health correspondent is back to work today. We're going to hear from Monica Robbins on her return to the 3 Newsroom. That is coming up on What's New.
Yes, I do. He is in second place right now, actually.
It's time right now to see what's clicking in Cleveland, and for that we bring back our digital anchor Stephanie Haney. Steph, good to see you again.
Good to see you again, Jay. You know, you called this earlier because Chick-fil-A lovers in Lorain are very happy this week because they are getting their first Chick-fil-A in just a few days. And they are doing all kinds of great things in the community to celebrate, by the way. 100 local heroes will get free Chick-fil-A for 1 year. The company is donating $25,000 to Feeding America to help food insecure people in Lorain. And they'll be part of the Shared Table program. This is very cool. So extra food will go to soup kitchens, shelters, and nonprofits and will not be wasted. The location opens on Levitt Road on Thursday, March 10th, so just a couple days from now. All right, it's time to check in now on how nominees are stacking up in the fan vote for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductions this year. Now, Eminem had the lead early on, but Duran Duran has taken over the top spot for the moment. Eminem is now in second place, and rounding out the top 5 in this order are Pat Benatar, Dolly Parton, and the Eurythmics. Now, voting is open through April 29th, and we have the link to cast your ballot on WKYC.com. I have my favorites, Jay and Betsy. I'm pulling for Eminem and Dolly Parton. What do you guys think? Do you guys have a favorite for this year?
Em and Duran Duran.
Yeah, Duran Duran, I mean, that's kind of striking close to home. And of course, Eminem. Dolly Parton, though, I mean, so yeah, I could probably vote for everybody in one way
I think
or
they're
another.
locks. I think they're pretty much locks,
Yeah.
the three. And there's probably some other locks, too.
Be a very interesting induction ceremony.
All right. Thank you very much, Steph.
Well, next on What's New, after a few months away, our Monica Robbins returned to 3 News today. We'll update you on the status of our resident rocking reporter. That's coming up next.
Yep, I gotcha. Talk to you.
Oh, that's because it got twisted. Hold on, let me fix that. All right, can you hear me now? Okay.
Oh, totally, yeah. Hey, Al, testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Good evening, I'm Russ Mitchell. Hello, hello.
One video after another there.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Al, you got me? You hearing me okay? Yeah, long before the Russians invaded Ukraine, skyrocketing prices at the pump were headed up.
They don't.
There's like 1 hour in there somewhere that they might.
How's your day, Lynn?
Well, it got more interesting. Hi. 1, 2, 3. Time for something. Show us something good.
Well, everybody, it is time for our Show Us Something Good, and we know you have been anxiously awaiting the return of our Monica Robbins since her surgery at the end of last year. And we are so happy to say her recovery has been going pretty darn well. She returned to work this morning.
Here's what she told us she missed most while at home recovering.
Am I looking forward to getting back to work? Absolutely. You know what I'm looking forward to? Getting back and cleaning off the dust from my desk. There was a ton of mail on my desk I have to go through. There was like, you know, all the housekeeping stuff. I'm looking forward to getting back and being productive because that's who I am. That's what I do.
And she does it well. You'll hear more of that interview in a longer sit down that we'll play with Monica tomorrow night at 11 o'clock on What's Next.
She's not allowed to stress.
Well,
that's what her doctor told her, and we were all laughing in the newsroom.
Yeah,
she's like, this is the new Monica.
Yeah, I hope so. I really do. Yeah. It just, the newsroom had a different feel to it today. There was definitely some electricity in there. It was so good to see her back. She looks great. And you'll hear, as I said, much more from Monica in that interview tomorrow night at 11 o'clock.
Yep, can't wait to see that for sure. And we get to hug her. What was that?
I don't know.
A balloon popped.
Yeah, we had a lot of balloons in the newsroom.
We have balloons everywhere in the newsroom.
Did Monica do that?
I don't know.
All right, we're out of time. Back tomorrow at 5. Thank you so much for watching What's New.
Poor Emma's out there. She's like, who's a balloon? 3 News at 6 with Russ and Lena starts now.
Now at 6, no progress.
I just left my home to nowhere. I have no plan. I just wanted to save my child.
The crisis in Ukraine deepens as Russia pushes forward, and a new humanitarian crisis is now brewing in Europe. Also, pain at the pump.
I paid $75 to fill up my sedan.